socio-political matters and we present the truth to you, our viewers, after analyzing these matters from various lenses. My name is Shegun Odunwayo. I have with me two of our guests here, and together we'll be doing the analysis and we'll be presenting the truth to you, our viewer. To my left is Mr. Chukwudi Akasike, one of our bosses here in the house. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Yeah. And a man who has been on leave from the roundtable for a while. It's good to have you back, Mr. Daniel Anyotwe.
Thank you for having me.
The energy, the vigor, the strength, and everything that comes together with that package. Very quickly, we start today's show. Today, the 29th of May, 2025, is the second year anniversary of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government. We'll be analyzing the Tinubu government in the last 2 years. How has your life fared? How do you feel? How do you feel now? How has your life fared in the last 2 years? The salaries you are earning, how well is it taking you? Is it taking you to your bus stop or is it taking you home? Your take-home fee, how well is it taking you home? For market women and business owners and entrepreneurs, how has business been for you in the last 2 years? For various persons, look back and say, indeed, renewed hope is here. Or is the hope still being far away from being renewed? I'll be starting with you, sir. This is a major topic in business, in security, in sports, various aspects of the lives of the 200 million Nigerian people. In your own analysis, how well do you think Nigerians are faring so far?
I would say that Nigerians are not faring well. The president came with a renewed hope, but somehow the people are facing hardship. It was unexpected anyway, because based on his promise that people will, the poor will breathe, and the fact that things. Look at inflation, look at the very high cost of living that Nigerians have never experienced before. And cost of transportation. And all this started with the removal of fuel subsidy. But one, we will not blame the president for removing the fuel subsidy, because the other two major candidates also promised to remove fuel subsidy, but at a point, some of the candidates were saying they won't have removed it without having something, strong enough to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. But as it is now, Nigerians are still bleeding. They are still bleeding. A 25 liter of fuel that an individual will spend 4,500 to buy. We will now spend 25,000 naira, right, or at something close to that. Initially, it was even more than 25,000 naira. And this, that fuel is central to the survival of any Nigerian. There is nothing you do that you will not need fuel. Generator is there, you need it. If you don't want to, use your generator, definitely you apply a vehicle to your office, and you must pay. All these things have a spiral effect on the survival of Nigerians. As it is now, Nigerians are joking. No matter the kind of result they write for themselves, the fact is that it is not well at all with Nigerians. Nigerians are not faring well. The miasma is always there, blowing seriously, and Nigerians are joking. And they need a kind of, what will I call it? A kind of survival plea from the presidency, from the federal government, so that they can move on.
Are Nigerians indeed joking? Or is it a myth? Remember recently Senator Oji Uzor said some Nigerians are used to free money. That's why they are complaining. In one interview, former governor of Osun State, Bababisi Akande, was saying that Nigeria is not actually as bad as many people are making it seem. That it's only those that are lazy that are complaining. Many people have said a lot of things. Do you think, Nigerians are really choking, or we are just overhyping the effects of the economy?
First, we'll start with if you look at how things is playing out there, and you look at of course, the indices, you know that yes, there is hardship.
Oh,
yes, yeah. You of course you would agree with me that there is hardship because of course, what makes it to be so? Why do we have hardship? One, the fuel. Now, if we are going to have a kind of a review of President Bola Tinubu's administration, of course, from the beginning of the administration, like my Oga said, the removal of fuel subsidy gave a kind of caused a lot of issues. A lot of persons were not expecting to have that situation. But again, it was necessary. Everybody agreed that it was time to remove the fuel subsidy. But again, everybody was having that mindset that, okay, what would I have done to ensure that the effect is not that much on the people? But we also what we have. But when we had that situation, the president made some kind of intervention. You can see that the revenue of states in terms of the allocations was increased, double, of course. Then there was this aspect of consideration for the new minimum wage, which of course kudos to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for bringing that aboard. A lot of persons or government would have said, okay, let's hold on for now, let's do, and we all see what is even happening at the state level, where you have some states that have not even been paying the old minimum wage. So I would say, yes, we won't pass all the ball on the president. We will also have to consider the fact that these things takes time in terms of implementing them. For one thing, I will also appreciate Nigerians for. Kudos to Nigerians. We have this strength to survive anywhere. Any situation at all, we have that strength to survive, and you can see that people are patching it up, despite the despite the issues of complaints. These difficulties. People are patching things up, and things that we are trying our best to say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. However, I think the government really need to do more. Yes, this just, I believe, 2 years we have grown. As far as if we look at this 50% of our year in administration, if we say that. So you say a child that is supposed to spend 100 years is now at 50 years, so you have aged. So we are expecting that we need more effect, more effort in the aspect of policies and implementation. Then we also have to ensure that the areas which are very key is the welfare of Nigerians. Workers must be paid and paid well. The 70,000 minimum wage, of course, we know that the NLC, we are talking about 200,000. But if we ask ourselves now, is the 70,000 minimum wage, is it enough compared to the current situation? How much is the bag of rice now? How much are we expecting? What is the take home? And if you check yourself very well, you find out that even before, at the beginning of the month, before the end of the month, you don't even have anything to say when you talk about your take home and all that. So I think there is more to this. There's need for the federal government to implement policy. President Bola Tinubu, yes, there are policies that implement. We look at the NEL fund, the student loan, but again, there's also concern about that. That okay, the student loan is how effective and all that, and the issues that are surrounding it. Well, there are a lot of issues. A lot of issues, really, a lot.
Okay, I was coming to the student loan because any representative of this government is always quick to say, look at the student loan, look at the opportunities for grants, all over the place. Look at the SMEDAN opportunities for, for people to come along and for their entrepreneurial businesses to take advantages of. And then they say, look at the dues that we are throwing at the people. Is it that Nigerians are not taking enough advantage of these opportunities that are there? Farmers, students, first-time students are having these opportunities. And ASU has not gone on strike in 2 years. Are there really no great things to celebrate?
It is not a failure all the way because one, the policies that the president rolled out are policies that are targeted at making the economy to work, improving the economy. But as it is, yes, we have seen some light there. and but it is not yet Uhuru. It is not yet Uhuru, because there is a particular place the president met the situation in Nigeria. You know, there are things we look at. Are we better off now than when the immediate past president left? The fact is that we are supposed to build on, the president said that he will build on the achievement of the past president, but as it is, Nigerians are feeling pains. The net fund you talked about, yes, it's a good thing, but ordinarily, if education were to be made affordable in the country, net fund wouldn't have been necessary. Net fund came in because the situation was becoming difficult. So net fund came as a cushion. So how the net fund is being managed will tell us if it is for good or because we had allegations that if some of the monies, the funds were diverted. So we are looking at it. It's not, and again, not been paid. And again, I've always said it here that Nigerians are not asking for too much. The basic housing, health, education, you know, security, you know. But if you look at those 4 areas we mentioned, we are not doing good there. We are not doing good there, you know. So Nigerians are not asking for too much. Now, he talked about the fact that allocation has doubled. You know, the fact is that Naira has been devalued, and you see Cameroonians, our neighboring countries are happy because their currency, their currencies are, or let me say their currency, because they are using one particular safer, you know, is stronger than the Naira now. That is not good for us, because I've always said it that if your Naira is weak, you are weak as a citizen. I saw a video where a Cameroonian was mocking Nigerians that they should come to their pepper farm and work because they have a stronger currency. So the fact is that it is not yet Uhuru, but the 2 years is enough for the current administration to know that they still have 2 years to prove to Nigerians that yes, they can do it. They can change the course of event and make Nigerians smile at the end of the day. But as it is, it is not yet Uhuru.
Let's speak it from insecurity. It's a challenge that has been bedeviling the Nigerian people for quite some time now. If we are to rate insecurity under this administration, what do you have to say? Banditry, terrorism, Boko Haram. What's your opinion about that sector?
Really, you know, it's really sad that we still have to be talking about this issue, continued issue in security, despite the huge amount that has been allocated to it. The past administration and all that. We are supposed to have gone past the state that we are currently. And of course, it's very important to also know that this insecurity is something that we can tackle. Yes, it's not Nigeria alone. We are not alone in this battle, but it's something that I trust that we have enough sufficient manpower and resources to tackle it. It is so bad to hear that we are hearing of deaths here, deaths, and it's even now beyond the level of even saying that it's an external forces anymore. We also have our own internal crisis that we are battling with. I just read this afternoon where somebody was saying a man killed 70 pregnant women for rituals. You know, all these kind of issues that are happening here and there. These are things that the government needs to focus on, and we need to fight against. Then also in the north, you can see the level of deaths, killings, kidnapping. Yes, it's so worrisome, really, so worrisome. So just imagine. So it's something that we really need to work on, and the governments need to be factual about it. It's not about appraisal. You don't come and tell us, okay, this is what we have done. This is what we have. No, we want to see it. Let the citizens be the one to tell you, oh, you have been able to do this, you have been able to do that. Because I saw a report recently where the federal government was saying so number of terrorists, I think 20,000 thereabouts, have been killed thereabouts. So they are telling us about terrorists that have been killed. If we put this, just oppose it with what we have in terms of the Nigerians, innocent citizens that have been killed. So just imagine. So all resources, everything that is necessary need to be put in place to ensure that we have security in this country. Nigerians should be able to go anywhere at any time as they feel. That has to do with they have to be secured. I should not have the fear of going to Enugu now thinking of going on flight when there is road. Not think of going to Kaduna and be thinking, Boko Haram may ambush us along the road. I know of somebody who has said, I won't go to my village because of insecurity. Just imagine, and you kill your own village or town. Why? Because there is no security around those axes. So I think the president just started. As far as we are concerned, congratulations, we have had 2 years of battle, hunger, insecurity, and what have you. Then the remaining 2 years, sir, please, we want to live happy as Nigerians. And we trust that because he's the number one man, Jagaban, will be able to achieve a very great extent between now and the next 2 years to come. Because that is what will determine the citizens. It will determine how we are going to now say, okay, yes, Mr. President, you deserve another 4 years. Because if we go,
take the mandate
we take the mandate from him.
Okay. All right, we have to go on to the next topic now. Talking about the challengers, people who can possibly challenge for taking the mandate. They are the opposition. And the opposition right now is not in a good shape. The major opposition party in Nigeria, the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, have been having their own internal rankings over time. But in recent days, it looked like the whole thing turned on its head. The leaders, the major leaders, the ones discipling the sheep of the PDP, in person of Governor Makinde, one of the stakeholders as far as PDP is concerned now, and the minister of the FCT, ex-governor Wike, or Minister Wike, depending on what you want to, what title you want to use for him, who used to be best of friends, look like they are now in some really, really hot political battle. How did it begin? Recently, the minister of the FCT, Mr. Wike, released a post via his social media handles declaring that for him, it's time for him to go back to his initial stand. And what he wants is what he wants. He's no longer negotiating with the leaders of the PDP. And he said that the person spearheading the other faction is the governor of Oyo State, Engineer Makinde. Well, up until this moment, there has been no public statement from the Oyo State governor. But you know the FCT minister, when he enters into a political battle, he enters with all the weapons in the machinery and he doesn't back down until the matter is over. Now, how held is the PDP? Yesterday, somebody who was said to have been left out of the leadership of the PDP came up to say, no, I'm back in my office. I'm still a strong member of the PDP. I'm still a major stakeholder here in the PDP. And you can see governors decamping right, left, and center, with more governors preparing to decamp as it stands. I'll be starting with you now. The PDP should be championing the anti-APC stance in Nigeria at the moment. The PDP should be leading that battle. They should be at loggerheads with the APC. It's for the beauty of our democracy. But what we have is a PDP in tatters. It's a PDP, according to former Governor Suswam, that is in the ICU. Some other major PDP stakeholders have actually said that the PDP is dead. What becomes of the opposition?
I think I will start by saying I commend Engineer Makinde for taking a stand to ensure that the stand of an opposition party remains. We have seen how the game played prior to the 2023 general election. We understand that, okay, why Wike worked against the party, which of course at the point was, fine, justifiable. isn't it? Say, okay, yes, you want the South, fine. And I know that is why Engineer Makinde had to support him at that time. They were friends. I said, okay, yes, you are right. And the South and all that, the South you have it not going back to the North. However, that was before they chose to have the presidential candidate of the party. That decision was made. But after they had the presidential candidate of the party, they had that stance. So, Engineer Makinde and Wike were in the same boat saying, oh, it's supposed to be for the South, which were the reason why maybe, of course, they did not support their candidate because it's coming from the North. However, this is a different ballgame. 2027, the decision has not been made. It has not been decided who the presidential candidate will be. It has not been decided if it's going to be from the South or not, or wherever it's going to come from. They are supposed to come together as a opposition party and say, this is our stand, okay, this is where we are going, then agree to have a Southern candidate as a presidential candidate. So I believe strongly that if they are not having that now, and Seyi Makinde is backing out, then there is a possibility that FCT minister is going another direction, because we know he's in this government and we have seen the line. Everybody is not made public, unlike 2023 where nobody is aware where Wike was going. But right now, everybody is aware where Wike is going. And where is he going? He's going to the fact that he's going to support his principal, President Bola Tinubu, and you don't expect a leader of an opposition party to now publicly now be supporting, which everybody is aware, supporting a party, supporting a candidate which is already in the opposition. Then you expect the party, the leaders of the PDP, to still go in line with him. What he's going to do at the end of the day is to hijack the structure of the party. And if that is done, the next thing will happen that PDP will be voting for the APC candidate.
But what was outlined as the
deadly
reason for this recent battle is the issue of the National Secretary, who they have said that, talking about the Makinde faction now, that his tenure is over. I think I should just come over to it before I go back to it. That his tenure is over. While the Wike people are saying, no, he's supposed to be there until we have...
Samuel Ayan.
Yes, Samuel Ayan.
Yes.
Samuel Ayan. Until August, when officially their own tenure will be over, and then there can be a new election for the leadership of the party. Samuel Ayan is coming out to say that, no, you may be a governor or they may be governors, but they cannot tell him to leave when his time is not over. I mean, now they are in another round of battle.
The issue is that when you have a party that is rudderless, that is lacking leadership, this is what you see. It is an open saying that no two bulls can stay in one garden. They will mess up the garden. In PDP, as it is now, we have more than 5 persons playing leadership role. Even Damagum cannot talk. Damagum himself is
supposed to be the leader.
Who is supposed to be leader does not even know where he stands. Nigerians, in fact, the PDP members do not know where he stands, because one is listening to one of the power brokers in the PDP, and that's why the PDP...
He made a statement a couple of days ago supporting the Wike.
So that's why the PDP is not even getting it right. Deliberately, the PDP will see the right thing and be doing the one that is wrong. You see the membership. Now, the people, they have said PDP is dead. And if you know that a person like Atiku, his body language is showing you that the PDP is not alive because of the kind of game they are playing there. And I tell you, the game they are playing in the PDP is a plus to, is a kind of energizing the ruling party. At the end of the day, Nigerians, like I told you the last time, Nigerians will be the people to suffer. PDP has not got it right. They have not even started. Yes, they have fixed their national convention for August 30.
Yes.
But the fact is that, are they going, the way it is, if they go into the national convention the way they are now, there will be serious fisticuff. There will be serious fighting. It will be fight to the finish by some of the power brokers, because that party lacks leadership. And that is why you see some people are moving towards coalition. At the end of the day, the PDP will find it difficult to rise.
Now, the PDP finding it difficult to rise. I mean, this is all politics without a doubt. And the ruling party, like he has said, will be the ones enjoying and smiling. Then what becomes of Nigerians? What becomes of the people who look up to the PDP for leadership, for opposition leadership, for speaking? I mean, when the tables were turned and the APC was the one in opposition, we know how much they fired the PDP and they ensured they were speaking. But now it looks like the opposition party is social media, or I think the opposition, the person bearing the name opposition now is the candidate of the Labour Party in the last election, Mr. Peter Obi, who is the voice of the opposition. We are not really seeing the PDP doing its job. With their number of governors, with the number of senators, with the number of people they have, they should be the biggest opposition party. Now, what becomes of the people who need them to speak?
Of course, you know, we all know how things go on in this country. One major thing that will definitely happen is that Nigerians will pitch tents when the time comes. And you know how the tent is being built. So the reality remains that PDP, if they don't set their house right, of course, they will lose majority of the people. And we already see what is happening the second time of President Bola Tinubu, with all what is happening and all the defection. For me, I believe strongly that...
I'm trying to get you in plain terms. Are you saying you think the whole thing is going in the direction of a Tinubu's second term?
But it is clear, the handwriting on the wall. All the opposition, all the coalition putting themselves together compared to the defections that you are seeing within the party into the APC. And it is clear that there's no strong oppositions like that. And Tinubu's second term is assured, and the way it's going.
Are you writing
this will not be, the reality remains that this will not be a Jonathan Buhari case. It's not. Because you can see the handwriting on the wall, a lot of defections and all that. Then even the opposition, don't be surprised that... Don't be surprised that the
people in that area and in that state
surprised that the coalition. Don't be surprised that among the coalition there are moles there.
Are there no moles in the ruling party?
That's the reality.
Why don't people think that even in the ruling party, some people are working for the opposition, like it happened the last time in 2015?
Of course, even when that one was clear, you remember the fact that even the contestant, the the candidate. You will look at the strengths of the candidate of that time and now. That is reality.
My take on this is that the opposition is in crisis and they are not there. What Nigerians should appeal to the ruling party is to ensure that the interest of Nigerians, the welfare of Nigerians, is taken care of. Because if the ruling party, if the leadership, let me say, if the what will I call it, the federal government, if the current ruling party fails, then Nigerians are in big trouble. Because one, even with the opposition that cannot put its house in order, if they get power, they will be
how will they rule?
How will they rule? You think they will perform better than Tinubu that is there? I don't think so. Because one, there has never been any fantastic record that you see that one of them there has done fantastically well in the past. No, the fact is that Nigerians believe that one day one good leader will come, and from what we are seeing, it is not from the opposition. The Tinubu leadership is will be happy as it is. Because one, the opposition, people say Tinubu may be sponsoring crisis in the opposition. Are they tabla rasas? Are they tabla rasa that who don't know what to do when such a wind start blowing? So the opposition must sit up if they think they really love Nigerians, if they think Nigerians should listen to them. As it is now, Nigeria is without opposition. Yeah, that is opposition party.
And in fact, the area I'm going to also support and what he has said is that the fact that look at all the politicians, look at every one of them, look at their track records. What you will see is either one crisis in the past, corruption case in the past, one issue in the past, or the other. Who among these politicians are we going to say has done something so special, so spectacular, that has done something so spectacular more than President Bola Tinubu in the past?
I think that's for Nigerians to answer.
That's what I'm saying. So the decision that we are going to
25, 27, 28, 29, 30 parties.
The decision that we are going to
everybody with his own PVC. We go to his polling unit, polling booth at his polling unit to cast his or her vote, and I know the INEC will count the results. Because I feel like you don't need to sell a good market. You know, I will tell you, there's this bread, you will tell me, we will tell people, a good market little or no PR. If a government is doing well, Nigerians are very interesting people. They will be the ones to say, even though I did not support so person, it is crystal clear that such is happening. So if people are complaining, it gives an opportunity for the opposition to come in. I mean, you are creating a second thought in the voters' mind because they feel I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get. So now, if you are now saying you are throwing over the towel already, and you are saying it's all done when it's even yet to begin, we have not even gone 3 years into this administration. It's just half. There's another half. If we experience double of what Nigerians have experienced in the first half, in the second half, even if Nigerians may just begin to ask questions, and if you ask questions going into election day, anything is possible. So if you are giving it away already, I think it's too early.
It's very important to also identify the fact
I believe that in a free and fair election, if Nigerians go into election today,
and they are angry
in a free and fair election, the APC will not win, and that's why we have said earlier that the APC must embrace. Must look at the welfare of Nigerians and do what is needful, But looking at looking at 2 years ahead,
I would disagree that they will not win
today.
No, when you say defection,
if we have it today, we can't use whatsoever indices we have now to determine if they will not win or not.
I'm talking about a society that is sane. We have Nigerians who are hungry. Now, if you are complaining, what will you be telling the Nigeria for the second time?
Do you know that the
power they gave you in the first term, have you been able to use it well?
Yes, sir.
If you have used it well to affect the welfare of Nigerians, then you can win. Nigerians are not bad. They will vote you.
This administration. We still have Nigerians that are commending this administration. Those people that are hungry that we are talking about, how many of them will go out and vote on election day? Majority of them will be inside the house.
Definitely, some of them will vote. Not everybody will vote. But the fact is that let us have
a law coming up now that if you don't vote, you may just be on your way to jail. So that's the one.
That's why I want people to come out.
We have to
come out this time around.
Last topic now, and we were here a couple of weeks ago talking about JAMB and the problems that came with JAMB, the 6:30 a.m. registrations and the commencement of the examinations and all of that. Little did we know that a couple of weeks after, we'll be talking about another situation. This time around, WAEC. Yesterday, students that were writing the WAEC examination, West African Examination Council, who were writing the examination yesterday, were writing the examination late into the night, and the videos and the pictures went everywhere. It was a gory sight. People were writing WAEC in the dark. They had to be putting various lights on for them to write WAEC. We just said it a couple of weeks ago on this same show, that if we are doing JAMB like this, maybe one of these days, WAEC could be having the same problem. We didn't know it was a prophecy that was going to happen very soon. So I think it was even you that made mention of that, the fact that if JAMB is already going this way, when WAEC starts their CBT, we didn't know it was bound to happen. Although WAEC has come out with their own stance, well, how did they even land? How did they not properly plan? How did we arrive at something like this in the first place?
From JAMB to WAEC, the impression we are creating in this country is that competence is running away from us, and I don't know why it is so. So WAEC had about 1 year it's a yearly thing to prepare. Why will you leave candidates or students inside exam hall up till, I saw a video, up till 11 p.m. they were still writing a sitting exam. That is not good for the country. We are giving the impression that we are not competent. These are things that other countries, neighboring countries, do without any problem. But here, they said that it was a logistic problem. What logistic problem are you talking about?
To crack down on cheating.
Why did they not postpone the exam? Why did they put the lives of students at risk?
English.
And you find out, yes, so, parents were running helter-skelter, looking for their children, for their wards. You know, it was an embarrassment, a national embarrassment. JAMB came apologizing. WAEC is apologizing. Tomorrow now, NECO will apologize.
You said the last one.
So it shows that some bad. Some incompetent people are being employed, are being brought into the system. So they should look inward and see how they can put their houses their house in order.
In 1 year, JAMB, that same year, WAEC, this same year, are we going to have NECO issues? Which other exam did you right now? I think there's GC. Are we not? Is this not the beginning of a bad trend, or it's just an unlucky period for the Nigerian educational system?
Yes, I think, of course, it again brings to fore the fact that the education sector in Nigeria needs a total overhaul. There is a need for a conscious effort to put in a lot of structures that would ensure that we have what is necessary. Just imagine a situation whereby even if we are here to talk about WAEC, you have other aspects which has to do with the unions and all that, creating one issue or the other. So I think there is a need for a total overhaul of Nigeria's education sector to ensure that we have all these issues eroded from it. Then another thing is that who is held accountable for what? This happened, that happened every year. This is not today. I saw a report where they said that there was a leakage in the kind of the questions and all that, and they had to do a kind of research and all that. And I asked myself that how did that happen? Is it today that it has been happening? Is it today? We know of sure that there had been series of reports in the past of special centers and all that, and different kind of issues within the WAEC itself. So I think beyond apology, WAEC should look inward. The boards, they should look inward and also ensure the JAMB itself should also look inward and also ensure that there is a total overhaul of the system. Whatsoever is a problem, identify it. Whosoever is responsible for what, hold them accountable for it. If you need to sack. If you need to suspend. If you need to do whatsoever thing you need to do to ensure that you don't put the life of children like what we saw yesterday. And we also had last week in Delta State, the same thing occurred in Delta State, where they stayed late night for exam. And another thing is that staying late night is not even all the matter. Our system, generally, they can write exam in the midnight, whatever time, but the conducive environment. Let the children know that they are staying up to social time for the exam. Make available the conducive, like we are sitting in this studio now. If I'm inside there, I would know I can stay here till midnight. I would know that it's late outside there because I have a conducive environment here. So the reality remains that prepare the conducive environment, prepare the students ahead, and let the stakeholders be aware of what is going to happen. Then we have issues.
Let me quickly come in. It will take a long time for us to. If we continue to wait for an environment that is conducive, we'll wait for Godot. And waiting for Godot means waiting forever. So there is a way our system has been built. We shouldn't stay long for a simple thing like conducting exam. And I told you about simplistic reductionism on serious issues. This WAEC we talk about. They will just wish it away like that. They will just engage a simplistic reductionism and say it is okay. We are not doing well. WAEC is a West African thing. Check other countries. Check Gambia. Check Sierra Leone. Check those that are part of it. You see that their own will be done seamlessly. But our own will always have one issue or the other because we always bring in bad politics into it. Going forward, the WAEC, any person that is responsible for the leakage of the whatever that made them to not to even postpone it, but force students to stay beyond the required time should be punished. That is my little submission.
Like you said, who should be
That's it. That's just the fact. It's education is very important, and again, like you said, we should not just sweep it under the carpet. Very important.
All right, it's time for us to leave now. Happy second term celebration to the Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, we've seen the things you sent out as gains in the last 2 years. The number of bandits that have been killed, the student loan and all of the loans. But Mr. President, I'll be using the words of the former Benue State Governor today.